Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the boat Hairspring. As always, it's me, Ivan, and in today's video we'll be having a look at this little 36mm field watch from Militado. It's their newest release and it's extremely affordable. In fact, I believe this is the cheapest watch I've ever had the chance to review. The exact reference of this model is ML07, and if you go to militadowatch.com, you can purchase it for $49 US, which is a very good price all things considered. Militado watches can also be bought from Aliexpress. Their official store is called Militado Watch Store, and you can find the link in the description down below. This specific model is not listed there yet, but I guess it will be eventually. However, there is an Aliexpress sale going on right now, and some of their other models are worth checking out as well. Here is what the packaging looks like. The watch arrives in this leather case, and there isn't really much to talk about it, as it is what it is. It does a good job at protecting the watch during shipping, and in it you also find the warranty card. Now let's start talking about the watch itself. And as always, we'll do so by quickly going through the dimensions. This one comes in a very compact case that's 36mm in diameter. The lug-to-lug is just a hair below 44. The thickness, including the bubble K1 mineral crystal, is 10mm, while the space between the lugs is 18. When it comes to the weight, it's super light despite of being made of stainless steel. On this NATO strap it weighs only 44 grams. And you can barely feel it on the wrist. Here it is on mine, which, as you know, is 17 centimeters or 6.7 inches, and it looks good, doesn't it? The NATO strap matches the design very nicely, it's comfortable and everything, but it adds to the overall thickness, which is why I would probably replace it with something else. The quality of the provided NATO is alright, it's your typical nylon NATO strap. There is nothing wrong with it, I'm just not a huge fan of nylon straps and NATOs in general. As I just mentioned, it looks good, it matches the design of the watch, and I can't see any imperfections. It's perfectly wearable, and it looks durable enough to me. However, I really think that a slightly more expensive NATO made of seatbelt material, and preferably a single pass, would really make this watch look so much better. Next, let's have a quick word about the overall build quality of the case. Guys, this is probably what surprised me the most about this watch, because it's very well made. It feels quite solid in the hand, and this satin finish looks good and it feels very smooth to the touch. The crystal, as mentioned earlier, is a K1 mineral crystal. It's AR coated and it looks nice and vintage as well. For those of you who prefer sapphire, you can check the ML05 model, which is basically the same, but slightly larger, and it does come with a sapphire crystal. Now, when it comes to the water resistance, this 36mm model is rated at 100 meters. The crown is not screwed down, but as long as it's pushed in well, you should be able to take this watch for a swim without having any issues with it. Moving on to the dial, it's black painted with printed everything. It's your typical military field watch dial with 12 and 24-hour format numerals, with the former being bigger. It does remind me of the Hamilton khaki field watches, so I guess we could call this Militado an homage. The best thing about these dials is their legibility. Once again, this watch is just 36mm in diameter, the dial is even smaller, and guys, while it looks a bit busy, you would be able to read the time at a simple glance. The syringe hands definitely help with that, and so does the mostly black and white color scheme. I also want to point out here that I'm really glad that there isn't a date window, as it would have ruined the symmetry big time. Guys, affordable watches like this one typically have terrible lume, but this one is actually pretty good. This is a printed dial, but still the lume seems to hold up very nicely in the dark. I know it would have been amazing if the numerals were lumed, but I have to admit, it is good as it is. And I especially love that the second hand is fully lumed. The last thing we need to cover is the movement. This Militado features the Seiko VH31 quartz movement, and believe it or not, this is my first experience with it. Fortunately, this movement has been around since 2018, and so I was able to find plenty of information about it on the internet. The most intriguing specification about it is that it's a 2 Hz movement, which is why the second hand moves 4 times per second, while something like a Seiko 4R or 6R movement runs at 6 beats per second, and here you can see that 2 beats of a difference when compared to my Alpinist. The VH31 is battery powered and it should run for about 2 years before it runs out of juice, but the batteries it uses are really cheap and you can replace them yourself. Accuracy wise, according to Seiko, the VH31 is rated at ± 15 seconds a month, which is better than most watches in my collection. So the bottom line is, this Militado ML07 is a decent watch. It's one of the most affordable, if not the most affordable watch I've ever handled, and it really surprised me that $50 can get you such a great grab-and-go watch. I like the military field design, the lume is good, and the VH31 movement is a very interesting choice to say the least. Guys, for less than $50 I don't think there are many watches that I can recommend, but hey, as always, let me know what you think about it in the comment section down below. Thank you very much for staying until the end. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, I would appreciate if you give it a thumbs up, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing, as I have some interesting content coming in the next couple of weeks. And for the first time ever, some of it will be about my other hobbies, which, if you've been following me on Instagram, you may know what they are. So yeah, take care guys, and I'll see you in the next one.